the final episode of Ms. Marvel has officially hit. A lot of things happen. You can quite obviously tell that they saved a lot of the budget for this episode. There's a lot going on, there's character development, and of course there's the setup to the future of Ms. Marvel in the MCU. After her trip overseas to find out some mystery and history in relation to her bangle, Kamala Khan is back in New Jersey. We of course will be talking about all of this in depth in our audio commentary, theories and everything going forward, but in regards to this episode, there is a lot that goes on. And I do think some people are going to have problems with pacing issues just because of how the last two episodes were really kind of, taking it away from everything that relates to New Jersey. Of course, Bruno, her dad and everything, and leaving all that behind to tell you a story that flashes back and then, of course, deals with Kamala and more in present day and the Red Dagger and everything. But this episode is going back to what you got in the first half. It's more of Kamala being Kamala, but of course, this also sets up her getting the costume, her also being more comfortable and using her powers in more of a super heroic way, like she's learned, which of course we saw in terms of her learning her powers over the course of the first episode all the way to the fifth. And you can see that she's more comfortable and understands more of what her powers are capable of, and you get that in this episode. You also get a lot more character development in relation to the people around her. Again, I don't want to get into spoilers, but if you know the characters that she obviously is going to find important in terms of who knows about her powers and who doesn't, you're going to see more of that here. I think this episode had pretty decent pacing in my opinion, and in terms of what it has to offer is, I would say the best use of the CG so far in the series, and the best use of Kamala really growing into her own and the whole acceptance thing. Now, the one constant complaint that's been, thrown against this show, and I certainly do fall into this as well, is not having her powers be horrific, like they are in the comics, because she's kind of like off-put by them, how ugly they are and everything like that because of her polymorph powers. There's ways that they do things in this that I think lean into some of that to a small degree. Again, it's not the, Cronenbergian body horror stuff, but there's definitely an element of, hey, these powers, I gotta live with them now and all that. In my opinion, this was a great finale. It does a lot. It definitely sets up Kamala's next chapter. Again, I'm trying to avoid spoilers. We're going to talk about that elsewhere in other videos and the audio commentary. But the series as a whole, to me, really sticks the landing here. And you can tell that there's plans for Kamala way down the road. Not just in the Marvels, but I'm talking about way more. Like, she's going to be important when it comes to the future of the MCU. And to me, I cannot wait to see what they do next, especially with where they leave things off in this. Super hyped, love the episode. Overall, I love the series, despite a couple of my complaints with pacing, but otherwise, stellar finale. One of the stronger MCU shows so far.